protector of Brahmana Dharma and also Go Dharma. So there was no problem for Dharma, any kind of Dharma, especially Go Dharma and Brahmana Dharma is protected by Lord Krishna. We address Namo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. So Lord Krishna is very particular in protecting Go and Brahmanas because they are very crucial for human civilization. Goes are very crucial. Goes or cows are very crucial because this society is getting benefited from the products of cow, ranging from milk, ghee, butter, which we use for various sweets that we make. And these ghee, they make the sweets and food items so delicious. And this milk is even given to young babies, very small babies, so that can nourish their brain. So this cow milk is so crucial. It's very important. For our civilization, our growth depends on that. The growth of our intellectual capacity, which is because of this brain growth, depends on cow's milk that we take, especially at younger age. And not only that, cows are also used. So we literally use every thing that is given by cow. Even the urine, cow urine is also used for cleaning purposes. So the gomutra is very auspicious and it is used for cleansing the area, especially where we try to perform any yajna. We are going to clean that area using gomutra. And also the cow's excreta is also used for yajna. So the dried excreta is used for yajna. So practically cow is integrated with Vedic civilization and also Brahmanas. So the Brahmanas are also given importance because not because of their caste. Brahmins are never considered just based on birth. It is, Bhagavan clearly says, Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. So, Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasaka. Based on Guna and Karma, one's tendencies, one's activities, one's occupation is determined. Swadharma is determined based on that. So the role of Brahmanas in the society is also very important. It can never be understated. When we think of Brahmana, we don't think of someone who is dominating, someone who is overly rich, trying to find ways to subjugate other castes. These are not Brahmanas. So when I talk about Brahmanas, or when scriptures talk about Brahmana, we are talking about saints, sages. They were so poor, and Brahmanas are never accustomed to holding any jobs, or they are not accustomed to go to any employment or take employment from others, because that is a job of a Shudra. So a Shudra is by definition someone who serves other three Varnas. So if a Brahmin goes to take a job from some company, that's what nowadays Brahmins do. Then they are no longer Brahmins because they have been disqualified. So Brahmins are considered to be independent. Independent because their thinking is independent. They have independent thinking. So we always respect someone who has independent thinking. We value their opinions. So their thinking is independent and it is according to Shastras. And so they are expert people in guiding the other section of the society in following Dharma properly. And so therefore they naturally took the role of teachers because of their tendency to preach and tendency to explain Vedic Dharma to people. So it is said that in Bhagavatam, it is said that the main symptom of Kali Yuga is seen when the Go Dharma and Brahmana Dharma are given up. This is just the main symptom. There are other there are other secondary symptoms, but these are the main symptoms. So the Brahmins will be targeted and the goats will be killed. Gohati will be a daily routine. So one day, Parikshit started to observe that the people in their kingdom were becoming adharmic. So he could sense that, just like Yudhishthira sensed that. So he went on to Digvijayam. He started, Digvijayam means a ruler starts to go out of his palace and he tries to have a check in the society, and he is also surrounded by military phalanxes and cavalries, elephant cavalries, and so on. So that is Digvijayam. So he wanted to see what people are doing and how Kali is affecting. And if Kali happens to be present in the kingdom, then that should be mitigated. So one should not think that uh, it is said in Shastras anyway that Kali will be occupying, and it is the nature of this age that Kali is anyway going to influence the people. So there is no need to fight the Kali. So one should not think so. Just like in an epidemic situation, so when we had Corona, the disease was spreading everywhere, but still we took measures to protect ourselves by taking vaccines and so on. Similarly, though Kali is just like a disease, it is just like an epidemic. Now it is about to spread because the age is almost begun. But still, as a king, Parikshit had responsibility to protect the prajas of his kingdom from the harmful influence of Kali, because it is just like a epidemic, as I said. So, as a dharmic king, he should try his best to mitigate the ill effects of Kali. Yeah, because otherwise there is no meaning to say that one is a ruler. A ruler is supposed to protect prajas, and protection not just from the inimical kings, protection from the harmful influence of irreligiousness or adharma. So king is supposed to protect people physically and spiritually also. In fact, spiritual protection is even more important, and it is stressed as a duty for ruler in various dharma shastras. And that is also one reason why a king should see that all the people in the kingdom, they follow their respective dharmas, because the dharmas are created, the swadharma is created based on one's tendency, one's inclination. And so these swadharmas are created, or it is structured in such a way that one can work as per one's inclination, and also slowly their consciousness keeps rising, and so one can uh, progress in the path of liberation. So therefore king is also supposed to see that all the people in the kingdom follow their respective swadharma. So as he was performing Digvijaya, once he saw that a cow and a bull, they were being tortured by a Shudra who was dressed like a king. So here cow is personification of Mother Earth, and bull is personification of Dharma. So Dharma Devata took the form of a bull, and the Mother Earth, Bhumi Devi, she took the form of a cow. And whenever we also know the reason for Krishna's birth was because Earth took a form of a cow, and she went and appealed to Brahma that she was being overburdened by various unrighteous kings, and so she wanted protection. Similarly, it is also mentioned that the Dharma Risharupam. So Shastras say Rishabharupam. So Dharma often takes a form of a bull. So this Dharma, this bull and Mother Earth, they were talking to each other when they were being tortured by this Kali Purusha. So right now he has taken a form of a Shudra who was dressed like a king. So uh, Mother Earth was crying, and so this Dharma, the deity of Dharma, he was asking, "Why are you crying?" And he lists out various reasons. So Mother Earth begins to reply to all of it. I am crying because I'm thinking about you. In Kali Yuga, you are Dharma, you won't be protected. I'm also thinking about demigods, Brahmanas, and my own state, cows. Now she has taken a form of a cow. So cows won't be protected. And also the weak section of the people will be exploited, like children and women. They'll be exploited in Kali Yuga. These were never unheard of. These were unheard of in previous yugas, but now we are hearing it often. But in the previous yuga, even until Dwapara Yuga, uh, the exploitation of children and women was not at all heard of anywhere. So uh, she said she was worrying about all of that, and then at last she said, "Kava saheta viraham purushottamasya." So the main reason why I'm suffering is because Lord has left me. Kava saheta viraham. How can I tolerate his separation? So because of that viraham, because of the Lord's separation, I'm so much distressed. And as long as he was there, his uh, his lotus feet was always contacting me, and so I was not having any problem, and everyone was very happy, and I was ecstatic. Tasyaham abja kulishankusa ketu hikete. So these are the impressions. So Lord's impression are typically characterized by thunderbolt, flag, and gourd and lotus. So when Lord's place his lotus feet, there are these impressions of thunderbolt, flag, the ankusha, the rod that is used to control the elephant, and then a lotus flower. So when even Akrura, when he sees Lord Krishna's lotus feet with these four impressions, he immediately fainted, recognizing Lord Krishna as Narayana. In fact, he already knew that Lord Krishna was Narayana, but when he saw the lotus feet with these impressions, he immediately fainted. So these are always the typical characteristics of his impressions in the lotus feet. So so she was explaining all of it, and uh, after finishing Digvijayam, Maharaja Parikshit was coming back. So when the earth and personality of religion were thus engaged in conversation, the saintly King Parikshit reached the shore of the Saraswati river, which flowed towards the east. So he was just entering the kingdom, and he could see that someone who was apparently dressed like a king, uh, Drupalanchanam, Dadrishe Drupalanchanam. So he was dressed like a king. Lanchanam means dressed like a king, Drupalanchanam. And he was also holding a club. He was holding a club and he was beating on the legs of uh, Go, Mother Earth. And he had already cut off three legs of bull. So bull is Dharma. Dharma's three legs are already cut off by that Shudra who was dressed like a king. So she was just standing on one leg. And so because one cannot stand on one leg, she was leaning against bull, and bull was which means I'm very sorry. So Rishabha's three legs were cut off by the Kali Purusha, and he was leaning against the Go, Mother Earth, and this signifies that uh, Dharma is hardly leaning or hardly present in this earth in Kali Yuga, and his only one leg is also shaking, trembling, which means in Kali Yuga, Dharma, it's very difficult for Dharma to stay even on one leg. It cannot stand on one leg also. So that is the state of Dharma in Kali Yuga. So this bull was just like a white lotus flower, and he was terrified of the Shudra who was beating him. So this Shudra is actually Kali Purusha who is beating the bull, and bull is Dharma. And this bull was also afraid that he was standing on one leg, trembling and urinating. So this is also, every shloka in this chapter, it is symbolizing something that is happening in this Kali Yuga. So in this shloka, the second shloka of the chapter, it is mentioned that the dharma is white, it's like a white lotus flower. So dharma itself is very pure, because dharma is given by Lord. So Lord's order, they become dharma. And also uh, in this age, the people who are generally adharmic in nature, they try to destroy, or they try to remove the concept of dharma. Even the concept of dharma is not liked by people of this age. So just like this man is beating the bull, who was a Shudra, the people of this age, they are very allergic to dharma. The principles of religion, the yajna, and the following shastras, following scriptural injections, and offering the sacrifice to demigods, offering sacrifice to pitrus for their satisfaction. All these dharmas will vanquish. And there won't be any bhakti at all. Bhakti will be very, very rare in this Kali Yuga. Hardly the people will have any inclination towards doing bhakti. So, in the third shloka, Gam cha dharma dugam deenam. So, cow, as we already said, she gives various products, and that's how she sustains dharma. Gam cha dharma dugam deenam. So, but now she is rendered poor. Deenam brisham shudra padahatam. So that is also depicting the situation where cows are tortured in this Kali Yuga. So in this Kali Yuga, the um, cows are slaughtered, and people argue that it is their right to take anything, that to eat whatever they want. So the rampant cow killing happens in Kali Yuga. So that is symbolized in this shloka. Although the cow is beneficial because one can draw religious principles from her, she was now rendered poor and calfless. So cow won't be valued at all. As long as cow is able to give some milk, she will be maintained by the person. And when she stops giving milk, immediately the person who was taking care of the cow, he would be sending the cow to slaughterhouse, and the cow will be slaughtered and her flesh will be taken. And also her calf will not be allowed at all to go near cow. So all these are mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. That's what we see. People who are greedy, they want to take all the milk from cow, not leaving any trace of milk for calf to take. So it is again depicting the situation. So she was crying. There were tears in her eyes, and she was distressed and weak. She was hankering after some grass in the field. And also Maharaja Parikshit, when he saw all this, he immediately got anger. So that's how a king should react whenever there is problem to a dharma or problem to go cow. A king should immediately react appropriately. And that's how Maharaj Parikshit reacted. He was well equipped with all the arrows and bows, and seated on his gold embossed chariot, he spoke to the Shudra. Very harshly he began to speak. Who are you? Kastvam Matcharana Loke. So this whole lokam, this whole planet, it has taken shelter of me. And who is that person who has the dare to torture someone who is weak and helpless? So here cow is weak and helpless. Just because one is strong, one should not go behind weak people like cow or anyone. So you appear to be strong, and yet you dare kill within my protection those who are helpless. So people who are helpless, they should not be exploited. Again, this is what we see in today's world. Always weak section is getting exploited by stronger section. In any field, you take politics, economics, or day-to-day life, you see everywhere, always there is uh, this phenomenon that we could see. Always the weak nation is always subjugated by strong nation. The Russia, which is strong nation, it was trying to subjugate weak nation, Ukraine. So that's what we see. Always there is this war tension, and whenever you see the strong nations, they begin war, and they begin without any worry and without any fear, and they can go on doing the war without any hesitation, just because they are strong and just because they possess the nuclear bombs and so on. But it should not be the case in a kingdom that is ruled by a righteous ruler. A righteous ruler should give protection to even weak members. So uh, so Parikshit was surprised because it is never seen in his kingdom that some weak person is getting exploited by a strong person. You appear to be strong, Balad Damsi, Abalan Bali. You appear to be strong, but you are trying to kill someone who is very weak. This is very bad. And not only that, you are posing yourself like a king when you are not so. You are not so because you are within my kingdom. I am the king, and you are acting like a king, and you don't look like a king by your deeds. You are acting like a king. That is offense without deeds, and you are also harming someone who is very weak, which is again an offense. And I will not tolerate these offenses against weak people. And you are also torturing the cow, which is symbol of civilization, and her products are used for all the important dharmic activities. You are trying to torture that. So do you dare beat an innocent cow because Krishna and Arjuna, the carrier of the Gandiva bow, are out of sight? Yastvam Krishna gatem duram saha Gandiva danvana. So as long as Krishna and his friend Arjuna were present, they will never tolerate such things. They will never tolerate, because Krishna's very advent, the very purpose why he comes is to establish dharma, to protect dharma. And in Vishnu Sahasranama, one of the names is Dharma Gup. Someone who protects the dharma is Krishna. And other devatas, they are not really worried about protecting the dharma. So whenever there is any danger to dharma, it is Krishna who comes personally to rectify dharma, because it is his order. Dharmas are nothing but his order. So whenever his orders are violated, he himself comes for the protection of the dharma. And so since you are beating the innocent in a secluded place, you are considered a culprit, and therefore you are to be killed. You are so immediately took the sword to chop to chop him off, to chop the Shudra who was dressed like a king, who was actually a Kalipurusha. So, but a king is not supposed to immediately award punishment to even a wrongdoer. So opportunity should be given to all the parties. So first he begins to ask the cow and the Rishabam, which is bull, about what happened. He did not immediately start to kill, or though he got down for killing, he did not kill immediately. So first he asks the bull, who is Rishabam or the Dharma personified, "Oh, who are you? Are you a bull as white as White Lotus, or are you a demigod?" So this bull is very beautiful. It doesn't look like a normal bull. So because it is a dharma personified, there should be a difference in the looks also. So that's what he was able to see. So bright with tejas and so polished white, and it looked like a demigod. It looked like a devata. You have lost 3 of your legs. So dharma's 4 legs are tapa, shaucham, daya, satyam. Tapaha means austerity, shaucham means cleanliness, daya means mercy, satya means truthfulness. So these are the 4 legs. In the beginning of Satya Yuga, Dharma was standing on all the 4 legs, because everyone was doing tapas and everyone was clean. Tapa, Shaucham, Daya, Satyam. They were mercy. They were merciful. They were not exploitative in nature. And Satyam, they always speak truth. Slowly, as the time progresses, as the yugas cross by, one after the other, the legs begin to fall for the Dharma. And in Kali Yuga, he is standing only on one leg, that is truthfulness. and that leg is also shaking. So now this Dharma is standing only on one leg. So you look like Dharma Devata. So he was able to guess that it was Dharma Devata. So he began to ask, who are you? You are so white. You are looking like Devata. So please reveal your real form to me. Now, for the first time in a kingdom well protected by the arms of the kings of the Kuru dynasty, I see you grieving with tears in your eyes. Up till now, no one on earth has ever shed tears because of royal negligence. So his kingdom is, he is now proud of his Kauravendranam. The kings in the line of Kuru dynasty, they never tolerated any exploitation or anyone, no one was unhappy in the kingdom. So it was for the first time that he was seeing someone being unhappy. O son of Surabhi, you need not lament now. There is no need to fear this low class Shudra, O mother cow. As long as I am living as the ruler and subduer of all envious men, there is no cause for you to cry. Everything will be good for you. So, as he says, he is trying to console, he is trying to pacify them so that they don't feel the fear. So, it also means that even though Kali has officially entered, even though Kali has begun to slowly break down the legs of Dharma and starts to torture the cow, still uh, Parikshit was able to uh, counteract that. So that's why when sages began to ask about the activities of Parikshit, it was addressed as Adhyashcharyam. So his birth is very wonderful. His activities also are very wonderful. We know why his birth was very wonderful, because he was personally protected by Lord Krishna, who entered into the womb and protected him from the Brahmashiras. And his activities are also very wonderful, because officially, though the Kali has entered, he was still able to counteract the Kali, and he was even able to punish Kali, as we will be seeing that he will be able to punish Kali also. And even within the time Parikshit was ruling, Kali was not able to freely roam, freely uh, influence the people. So that's the power of the Parikshit. And because he was a Mahabhagavata, he knew how to counteract Kali through Nama Sankirtanam. So in this age of Kali, the only way to counteract Kali is through Nama Sankirtanam and following the four regulative principles, as it will become evident in the future verses. So, uh, so he began to console the Rishabham, which is Dharma, by saying, "Don't lament. I will remove your suffering." And a king in whose state the citizens are terrified, he loses fame, he loses lifespan, and his fortune will be lost, and his good rebirth will be lost. So Kirtihi, he loses his fame. Ayuhu, his lifespan is also lost. Bagaha, his fortune is lost, and Gatihi, the next birth. So a king will lose all these four items if his citizens are terrified. So now he is also he's not just trying to protect Dharma or Mother Earth. In fact, he doesn't even know that they are Dharma personified and Earth personified. He right now sees them as just cow and bull, which means he is just seeing them as praja. So even if a praja is tortured, uh, he was uh, he was he was worrying, because Kirti, Ayu, Bhaga, Gati, all will be lost. Uh, Lost from a king who is failing to protect his own citizens. And that is the prime duty of a king. A king's prime duty is to subdue the suffering of subjects. That's why he is king. Otherwise, he is just a normal person. So a king should have that. He should have that motive to protect the subjects, to protect the people. Therefore, I must kill this most wretched man. So Maharaja Parikshit begins to ask the bull about the perpetrator. So as I said, one should not immediately go and kill and punish a wrongdoer. So that's what we see in today's world. We will give opportunity to everyone, even if he's a terrorist, if he had killed, taken a machine gun and shot thousands of people, he is still given chance in court. And that's the way one should always establish dharma. So one should always give opportunity to every party involved in the crime and so on. So therefore, he begins to ask the bull about the perpetrator. Who has cut off your three legs? In that state, where the king follow Lord Krishna, such a thing has never happened. O bull, you are honest and you are offenseless. Sadhuna. So bull, because it was a very white bull and looking so terrified, it looked like a honest and very offenseless bull. So he could understand that there was no offense on the part of the bull. I wish all good unto you. Tell me who has disfigured you. So now the bull is only standing on one leg. As I said, three legs are cut off or dismembered. So who had cut the three legs? Whoever pains the offenseless must always fear me. By punishing them, the offenseless are protected. Sadhunam Badram. Even if such an upstart is a Devata, will uproot him. So Devatas are far more powerful than a king. But here Parikshit is saying, even if he is a Devata, even if this person, the Shudra who is just like a king, if he happens to be a Devata, I will immediately kill him uh, because I cannot tolerate that. And also because Parikshit's Parakramam, the power of Parikshit is so much that um, he was able to even wage war against Devatas and subdue them. Generally, Devatas are supposed to be much more powerful than humans, but here it is Parikshit who is a Mahabhagavata. So, and he is also a very strong king. So, supreme duty of king is to protect those who follow scriptures, punish those who deviate from the scriptures. So, it is mentioned that Rajno hi paramo dharmaha. So, what is the supreme duty of a king? Rajno hi paramo dharmaha. Swadharma sthanu palanam. So, he has to make sure that everyone is following their swadharma. Shashato anyan yata shastram. And that swadharma should be as per the scriptures, as per the directions mentioned in Dharma Shastras. Shashato anyanyata shastram anapadi utpataniha. So the supreme duty of the ruling king is to give all protection to law-abiding citizens and to chastise those who stray from the ordinances of the scripture in ordinary times when there is no emergency. Which means if someone transgresses the shastras, it is allowed if it is an emergency situation. But otherwise, a king is always supposed to give protection to law-abiding citizens and also to make sure that all the subjects follow the dharma as per the scriptures, and so that there is no disturbance in the society. And even Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita. He says, it is far better for one to follow one's swadharma than to take up others' duty. Even though one can perform others' duty so perfectly, one should not take others' duty because it is not the inclination. So these duties are structured in scientific manner for one's consciousness elevation. So therefore, one should never take others' duty. One should follow the swadharma, and the swadharma is not created or it's not imagined. It is as per shastras. So shastras are giving or it is, as I said previously, it is just like a blueprint. It is talking about what is creation, what is Brahman, and so on, what is Atma, and so on. And at the same time, it is also talking about material duties, because unless we perfect doing these material duties properly, unless we perfect doing this Varnashrama Dharma properly, one cannot elevate oneself to the platform of Brahman, or the platform where one can experience the Brahma Sukha. So that is the ultimate state. But to reach that, one should first of all be able to follow one's mundane dharma properly, and that is Varnashrama Dharma. So that is also called Pravritti Margam. So in the Shastras, there are two kinds of margams, the pathways. One is Pravritti Margam and the other is Nivritti Margam. Pravritti means the path through engagement. So normally 99% of the population are following the Pravritti Margam. We engage in various dharma, duty, which are apparently mundane in nature, but as we perform those mundane duties, they also purify and elevates one's spiritual consciousness. And then there is also Nivritti Dharma, where one is advised to renounce everything, and that is for sannyasis. So Nivritti Dharma is for people like Shaunakadi rishis. So when Brahma said, go and help me in the task of creation, go and create progeny, they said, no, 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 we can't do that. We want to attain Narayana, we want to attain Krishna. So we are going to stay as brahmacharis. We are going to take up Nivritti Margam. And Brahma's sons, Prajapatis, they engaged themselves in Pravritti Margam. They were engaged in the task of expanding the human population. So therefore, there are adhigaris. So therefore, there are people who are suitable for Pravritti Margam also, and 99% of the people they are only suitable for Pravritti Margam, which is following the Varnashrama Dharma properly. So therefore, a ruling king must ensure that this Pravritti Margam is done as per Shastra. By definition, Pravritti means as per Shastra. Otherwise, it is animal life. So in Pravritti, no doubt there is some enjoyment, there is some concession given. But that concession, that sense enjoyment given to a householder is also based on scriptures. So therefore, everything should be based on scriptures. Both Pravritti Margam as well as Nivritti Margam. People who are engaged in the Dharma, Swadharma, or people who are renounced, both are guided as per Shastras. And if one is outside, if one wants to enjoy outside of this Shastras, that is called Vikarma. Vikarma means prohibited actions. Karma generally means action, that's how we know karma. But in an accurate sense, karma means actions as prescribed by Shastras. The irregulated actions are called Vikarma. The actions that are performed blindly for the sake of sense gratification alone are called Vikarma. So a praja should not just blindly go behind Vikarma and lose the opportunity of this human life. So this human life is for elevating one's consciousness and to attain liberation ultimately. So that opportunity is lost if one just engages oneself in the activities of Vikarma, or in other words, the activities that are forbidden by Shastras. So that opportunity is lost. So therefore, Rajnyo hi paramo dharma, swadharma sthanu palanam. So therefore, a king's primary duty, supreme duty, paramo dharma, swadharma sthanu palanam. And also, Shashato anya anyata shastram. It should be as per Shastras. Anapadi utpatan iha. And one should not, utpatan iha means vikarma. One should not be allowed to perform vikarma, the actions that are forbidden by scriptures. And if that is allowed, then one will lose the valuable opportunity of human life. So Dharma Uvacha. So Dharma begins to explain his situation. So Dharma are in the cow. No, one should not think how bull can speak, how cow can speak, so on. So these are not ordinary cow or these are not ordinary bull. We should always keep in mind. So bull here is Dharma personified. And one should also not think how can Dharma take a form. So Dharma is a concept. So Dharma, each one has one's own Dharma. How can a Dharma become a Devata? So everything is based on Shastras, as he said. So when we read such statements, when earth is taking a form or when Dharma is taking a form, we should understand that they are deities who are in charge of those tasks. So the here Rishabham, which is in the form of Dharma, personality of Dharma, personification of Dharma, is actually a deity which is representing Dharma. Similarly, we read in scriptures Vedas personified. So Vedas also have taken form. Vedas also have form. And in Bhagavatam, we also have prayers of the personified Vedas. So Vedas also take form. And in fact, Madhu Kaitapa, two asuras, they steal Vedas from Brahma, and Lord comes as Matsyavataram and retrieve the Vedas back, and he gives it back to Lord Brahma. So therefore, we have to see through the Shastras. So whenever we read such statements, Shastras themselves become Pramanam. So we therefore accept that Dharma can take a form of a bull and it can speak, the bull can speak. So the personality of religion said, or the Dharma said, these words just spoken by you befit a person of the Pandava dynasty, captivated by the devotional qualities of the Pandavas. Even Lord Krishna performed duties as a messenger. O greatest among human beings, it is very difficult to ascertain the particular miscreant who has caused our sufferings. because we are bewildered by all the different opinions of theoretical philosophers. So Parikshit was asking, who harmed you? That was the question. And it is very evident that this Kalipurusha is trying to harm. He had already cut off 3 legs. But this Rishabham was, it was not pointing out this. It was not pointing hands, showing hands towards this Kalipurusha. Instead, this Rishabham is saying, Na vayam klesha bijani, klesha bijam, the source of the misery, root source of the misery, na vayam yataha syu, from where it has come, from where these sufferings have come, I am not sure. Yatasyu Purusharshaba, Purusham tam vijanimo, Vakya Beda Vimohitaha. Vakya Beda Vimohitaha. Many people say different things. So why some people say, so there are actually 6 kinds of philosophers according to our Vedic understanding. It's called Shat Darshanam. So for example, Mimamshakas, Sankhyaites, and then Yogavadis, so Patanjali Yoga Shastram, so that is one philosophy. And then Vedanta Shastram is one philosophy. Mimamshakas, as I said, is one philosophy. And then Maharishi Kanath, who wrote treatises on atoms and so on, the Sankhya-vadis, that is one Saddha. So each of the philosophers has their own way of explaining the root cause of suffering, klesha bijani. Some say, no, the root cause of suffering is karma. So the jivas, so especially the Rishi Jaimini, so he was expert in karma kanda. So they would say, root cause of suffering is karma. If we perform good karma, we get good results. If we perform bad karma, we get bad results. So they prescribe activities of karma kanda. You do good karma, you do good yajna, perform good action, whereby you will be elevated to a higher situation where you can enjoy. So you are making your own destiny. So do good karma. That is the philosophy of philosophers who follow sage Jaimini. So Jaimini was one of the disciples of Vyasadeva, who wrote Mimamsha Sastra. So, and others say, so Sankhya yogis, they say, no, the jiva is now stuck within the 24 elements. Now the jiva has to get liberated from the 24 elements. And so each one has their own philosophy. The Patanjali, he will say, no, the suffering is because of the chitta vritti. So there is constantly chitta vritti that is diverting one's attention. So one is not able to focus. So when this chitta vritti is die down, then one is able to focus one's mind. So each of the philosophers, they have their own philosophy, own opinion. So therefore, Vakya Beda Vimohitaha, and they themselves have confused each other, and they are not able to conclude the root cause of all sufferings. So how can I say what is the cause of my suffering? So this Rishabham is answering Parikshit. Kechit vikalpa vasana ahur atmanam atmanaha daivam anye apare karma swabhavam apare prabhum. And there are others who say vikalpa vasanaha. So they deny the duality. So they say Brahman and Ishvara, the Brahman and Jiva, they are same. Vikalpa vasanaha. So all the troubles that we perceive in this world are because of the perception of duality. The duality between the experience and the experiencer. Duality between the Jivatma and Paramatma. When this duality vanishes, then there is no suffering. So they are called Advaitins. So they philosophize and they say something. Kechit vikalpa vasana ahur atmanam atmanah. And others say Daivam anye pare karma. So some people say it is because of the devatas who are controlling all the humans in this world, and so they impose, just like in Vrindavana, Indra Deva, he tried to inundate Vrindavana, and Krishna protected all the Vrajavasis by lifting the mountain. So they say Daivam anye pare karma, swabhavam apare prabham. And the materialists, they say there is no ultimate cause at all. It is all because of nature, because of the interaction between the nature, various phenomena. So it is all happening without any direction. So each one of them, they have their own philosophy. And there are also some thinkers who believe that no one can ascertain the cause of distress by argumentation. Some people say it is pointless. I may say one reason, but that reason is having another reason as its cause, and so on. One cannot conclude. So there are so many causes, and the complex interaction between the causes and effects, it is not possible to come to a conclusion. Nor we can know it by imagination, nor we can express it by words. It is so complex, one cannot explain what is the actual cause. Can a bull speak such things? These are so thought provoking. These verses are so thought provoking. So Parikshit, when he was listening, he started to think a bull cannot explain such philosophical ideas in shloka. And also, if the bull is not directly pointing fingers towards Kalipurusha, it also means that this being is a very great being who has taken the form of bull. So Parikshit started to think about all that. And Suta Goswami said, O best among Brahmanas, the Emperor Parikshit, thus hearing the personality of religion speak, was fully satisfied and he was very happy. So, and there is also one other argument that he places, the bull places, that no one can ascertain the cause of distress by argumentation. O sage among kings, judge for yourself by thinking over all this with your own intelligence. So, this bull, it was presenting very interesting arguments, and it was certainly not willing to show or willing to expose Kalipurusha. So, because it's a great heart, it's a broad minded bull. And so the king said, Oh, you who are in the form of bull, you know the truth of religion, and you are speaking according to the principle that the destination intended for the perpetrator of irreligious acts is also intended for one who identifies the perpetrator. So it's very confusing. Yet adharma kritasthanam suchakasyapi tad bhavet. So uh, if one is able to identify the cause of the problem, it means that that problem is also there within us. So therefore, there is no difference between one who identifies the person who has done the crime and the person who is affected by the crime. So if a victim is able to identify a person who has done the crime, it just means that both are controlled, both are conditioned to think each other as cause and effect. No doubt there is a relation between cause and effect, but if one identifies the perpetrator of the crime, then one is just seeing the immediate cause. One is not seeing the sanction of the Lord behind that action. So that's what Parikshit is saying. The king said, You know the truth of religion, you are speaking according to the principle that the destination intended for the perpetrator of irreligious acts is also intended for one who identifies the perpetrator. So when we identify the perpetrator, it means that we are just seeing the immediate cause. Someone has done crime for me. Someone has come and caused some harm. I just see, okay, this person is the reason. But we do not see the reason. No. This person has come because I might have done some wrong acts in the previous life. I might have done some karma. So Lord is arranging the situation so that this person is just delivering the results to me. So therefore, this person is not the actual cause of my trouble. And so, if one thinks so, then one is situated in higher consciousness, and that is philosophically also appealing. So, since bull is also reasoning in that way, this bull cannot be an ordinary bull. So this king concluded that this bull is not an ordinary bull; it must be a dharma devata. And it is also concluded that the Lord's energies are inconceivable. No one can estimate them by mental speculation, as we are, again, the same shloka that we already discussed. These energies are inconceivable. The situations, how Lord is exactly carrying the results of one karma to the jiva. There are so many innumerable jiva. Each jiva is getting the results of one's karma. Jiva A is not getting the result of the karma done by jiva B, and vice versa. And also, there is fully noted down. All the activities that we have done, it is fully noted down by Lord. And no one can express, no one can escape the laws of karma. It may take time for us to get the results of the action, but one is sure to get. So the Lord, He has a elaborate plan. There are innumerable jivas, and each jiva has performed innumerable karmas. And Lord, who as a controller, he has to give the results of the karma at the appropriate time and to the correct jiva. So therefore, it is concluded that the Lord's energies are inconceivable. Atava deva mayaya nunam gatir agochara. Agochara means something we cannot capture through our understanding. So if we are able to understand something, it means that that thing we have somehow uh, become better than that, right? If we are able to understand one's intention, for example, then it means that we are able to somehow outplay that person, right? But if we are able to understand the intention of the Lord, then it means that we are able to outplay the Lord. But that should not happen. So therefore, Lord's enormous plan, so complex and sophisticated plan, no one can understand. Atava deva mayaya nunam gatir agochara, gatir agochara. So the destination, it cannot be perceived. Chetaso vachasa chapi bhutanam iti nishchayah. And no bhuta, even up to the level of Lord Brahma, no one can estimate. No one can estimate them by mere mental speculation or by words. Vachashash chetaso api. So using employing one's intelligence, one may be Einstein or one may be Stephen Hawking, but still one cannot understand these background laws, these subtle laws of karma. Even Lord Brahma himself cannot understand, it is said, because it's so complex and so on. So no one can estimate them by mental speculation or by word jugglery. And in the age of Satya Yuga, 4 legs were established, as I said, Tapa, Shaucham, Daya, Satyam. These 4 legs were present in the age of Satya Yuga, that is in the beginning of the Chatur Yuga. So the Dharma was flourishing so well in the beginning of Satya Yuga because Daya was, Tapas was there, everyone was Tapasvi in the Satya Yuga. Tapo, Shaucham, the cleanliness was there, cleanliness both internally and externally. And Daya, everyone was merciful. And Satyam, they will even give up their life, but they won't give up Satyam. So that was a time of Satya Yuga. In the age of Satya, your 4 legs were established by the 4 principles of austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. So this shloka, by this shloka, we can understand that Parikshit has already identified the bull as the personification of religion or the dharma. But it appears that the 3 of your legs are broken due to rampant irreligion in the form of pride, lust for women, and intoxication. So these are the 3 reasons why one's the pride, excessive pride, and the lust for women. So Sangha, so Sangha, Smaya, Madahi. So these 3 causes, they break the 3 legs. The 3 legs of the dharma. So the jivas, they are now completely in the control of illusory energy of the Lord. And so when they are careless, then they are overtaken by smaya, pride. And then because of their natural tendency, sangha, so the illicit connection with the opposite sex, that is somewhat tempting for a jiva because of the illusory covering by the Maya Shakti. And Madahi, the jiva also becomes intoxicated by one's apparent ability because of one's past karma. And that due to that intoxication, the 3 legs of the dharma are broken, one after the other. And so now the dharma is just standing on 1 leg. You are now standing on 1 leg alone, which is your truthfulness. So in this Kali Yuga, there is some truthfulness, and that is also shaking. So the dharma is now sustained in the Kali Yuga only because there is some truthfulness somewhere. But there is no question of the other 3 legs. So it is totally cut off from this age of Kali. So the burden of the earth was certainly diminished by the personality of Godhead and by others as well. When he was present as an incarnation, all good was performed because of his auspicious footprints. So as I said, Bhagavan is called Dharma Gup. So he comes for protecting his devotees. He comes for giving the knowledge about bhakti to great sages. And he also comes to show his pastimes to the normal people so that they get attracted towards the Lord, so that they also aspire to have association with the Lord. And he also comes to establish Dharma. So that is the supreme Dharma. So the actual Dharma is the servitorship of Jiva towards Paramatma. That is the actual Dharma of a soul. Now, when Bhagavan comes, he establishes this Dharma in particular. So that is the Paro Dharma. He establishes this Dharma by saying, Sarva Dharman Parityachya Mamekam Sharanam Raja Aham Tva Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayisyami Masuchaha. Oh Jiva, you have forgotten your actual state. I will inform you, you are my Amsha. So you have to take shelter of me. So you take complete shelter of me. That is your Dharma. And if you have taken complete shelter of me, you don't worry, I will give you all protection, no matter whatever you have done. Dosho yadyapi tasya syat. So Lord Ramachandra says, Dosho yadyapi tasya syat. Even if there is dosha, I will accept you. He need not even say that. We have doshas, and all of us know. But when the mother cow, when she sees the calf which is dirty, she immediately licks the dirt and she removes the dirt from calf's body, and she then, out of her affection, she takes the child calf with her, and so on. Similarly, the Lord, he also, by his just mere glance, he immediately burns down all the sinful reactions if one properly takes shelter of the Lord. We have to just properly take shelter of the Lord through the bona fide spiritual master or Acharya. Through the means of Acharya, if one takes proper shelter of Bhagavan, then we are established in our right dharma as the servant of the Lord, and then Lord protects. So when he was present as an incarnation, all good was performed because of his auspicious footprints. So the dharma was protected as long as he was there. Now, being forsaken by the personality of Godhead, she was lamenting her future with tears. So in future, she was able to see the situation in Kali Yuga becoming worse and worse with time. So she was, and how she would be ruled by unrighteous people, just like we see in today's world, politicians who are having hunger for power alone. So they just want to grab power somehow. So each election they give false promises, and so somehow they want the power. And why they want power? Just to perform their adharma so easily and so on, so that they can enjoy. So they think the power is the way. So they are only interested in the power. So Mother Earth, she is fearing the situation in future, laments her future with the tears in her eyes. For now, she is being ruled and enjoyed by low class men who pose as rulers. So they don't have Kshatriya qualities. So the politicians of today's world, they don't possess the qualities of an administrator, Kshatriya. Yet they just pose as rulers. Their only interest for them is the power. They just want to have the power, they enjoy power, and they go to any means, they go to any extent, giving false promises, performing so many murders, eliminating the political opponents, and so on. So there is no question of dharma or anything. As long as they have the power, it is dharma only. So they give justification. We have to propagate our ideas, our ideologies. So we need power. So it doesn't matter if we perform adharma and get the power. So that sort of philosophy they develop, and they just grab the power and so on. So Mother Earth, she was worrying about her future situation. So Maharaja Parikshit, now he took up his sharp sword to kill the Kali Purusha who was torturing the who was torturing the Rishabham, that is Dharma personified, and the Go, who is Mother Earth personified. So he took the words from both Rishabham and Go, and now he concluded that this Kali is the main reason. This Kali Purusha is trying to harm the Dharma and also Go. So he wants to destroy the Dharma's one leg also. So therefore, I should not allow this to happen in my kingdom. So he took out the sword, and as soon as he took out the sword, the Kali Purusha, he was he immediately gave up the dress of the king that he was previously wearing, and out of fear, he totally surrendered unto Maharaja Parikshit, asking for pardon, asking for his life, and Maharaja Parikshit, he accepted the surrender. As I said, Lord Ramachandra, he would accept anyone, even if there are doshas in him. Dosho yadyapi tasya syat. There may be dosha in one person, but if one surrenders, a king, a kshatriya should give protection to such surrendered soul, even if that surrendered soul happens to be a person who has who had committed heinous crime. So patitam padayor viraha. So he had immediately fallen on the leg of Maharaja Parikshit. Kripaya dina vatsalaha, and he appealed for compassion of Parikshit. Kripaya dina vatsalaha, you are kind to the poor. Sharanyo navadit shlokya ahachedam kasaniva. So, uh, so Maharaja Parikshit was qualified to accept surrender and worthy of being sung in history. He did not kill the poor surrendered Kalipurusha, and he smiled compassionately. So, this is how one has to also see the good things, good qualities in others. So, one may be a very bad person, apparently may have many bad qualities, bad behavior, but we have to see if one is able to rectify one's mistake, and if one is able to rectify one's mistake, that's a good quality. So one should accept a person based on that good quality. Just like bees, they go to different flowers and they take the best part in every flower, that is the honey, the nectar, and they gather and they keep it. So similarly, we should be just like bees, and that is the quality of a devotee. So Parikshit was just like a bee which collects the best qualities from the best nectar from every flower. Parikshit saw a good quality in Kalipurusha. Because he has surrendered, now it is my dharma to protect him. So he began to consider, he did not kill, he did not want to kill because the Kalipurusha has surrendered. So the king said, we have inherited the fame of Arjuna. Therefore, since you have surrendered yourself with folded hands, you need not fear for your life. I will give you your life. But you cannot remain in my kingdom. In my kingdom, you cannot, because you will infect others. You will try to influence others, and so you will try to harm the dharma practiced by others, and the greed, the lobam, everyone will want to accumulate more, and that will spoil everything. So I cannot allow you to stay in my kingdom. So you have to leave my kingdom. So then Kalipurusha was astonished. Where can he go? Because the whole earth belonged to Parikshit. So if the personality of Kali is allowed to act as a executive head or a man god, certainly irreligious principles like greed, falsehood, robbery, incivility, treachery, misfortune, cheating, quarrel, and vanity, everything will start to occur. So, therefore, you don't deserve to remain in this place where people perform sacrifice, where people follow dharma. And religious principles is the soul for everyone here. So, you cannot live in my kingdom. So, after hearing this, uh, Kali was trembling in fear, and he started talking. Kaliru Vacha, O Majesty, though I may live anywhere and everywhere within your kingdom, I always see you in every place. So the Parikshit, he was looking like a ruler, a Yamadharmaraja, it is said. So the Kali was trembling in fear. So he was appealing to Parikshit to give him some permission to reside somewhere within the kingdom. You give me some corner within the kingdom, I'll just peacefully live there. I won't disturb anyone. You just give me permission to live somewhere within your kingdom. So then Maharaja Parikshit, he considered that, yes, the whole kingdom is mine. And I have also given abhayam to you. I have accepted your surrenderance. So it is also my duty to protect you. So therefore, I will say you can reside where Dyutam Panam Striya Suna is allowed, where there is gambling, where Panam, where the people drink, Striyaha, where there is illegal association with women, and vice versa, and Suna, animal slaughter, where there is mass rampant animal slaughter. In these 4 places, I will allow you to stay. Sthani kalaye dadau, dyutam panam striya sona, yatra dharmash chaturvidaha. So these are 4 kinds of adharma. Dyutam panam striya sona. So where there is gambling, so we see gambling where gambling is rampant, Kali will flourish in that. Where there is panam, where the people take drink, there is always quarrel and so on. So Kali always sees an opportunity where to enter, how to create the quarrel and so on. Through deceit, through these 4 means he enters and he infects the entire society. So therefore, Dyutam Panam Striya Suna, wherever these 4 things are allowed, you can go and stay there. I won't disturb you. So the Kali was asking for something more. So you have given me 4 places, Dyutam Panam Striya Suna, where there is gambling allowed, where there is Panam, where there is intoxicating drink or drugs allowed, Striya, where there is prostitution, illegal association with other parastris or the other women prostitutes, where it is allowed, and Sunaha, where there is animal slaughter allowed, where there is Mamasham, where people consume meat. So in these 4 places, you have given me to stay, but it is not enough for me. You give me one more place to stay. So the Kali Purusha say, Punascha Yachamanaya, he began to beg to Parikshit. Jata Rupam Adat Prabhu, Tato Anartam Madam Kamam, Rajo Vairam Cha Panchamam. So the personality of Kali asked for something more and began to beg. The king gave him permission to live where there is gold, because whenever there is gold, there is also Dyutam Panam Striya Suna. So the foundation for all these crimes, the 4 other principles of adharma. So just like Tapa, Shaucham, Daya, Satyam, these are the 4 legs of dharma. We can consider Dyutam Panam Striya Suna as 4 legs of adharma. And these adharma, it is going to flourish where there is money or where there is gold. So the flourishing principle for all these 4, Dyutam Panam Striya Suna, is the gold. So where there is gold transaction involved, you can go and stay there. So Kali somehow got some place. So because in Parikshit's kingdom, these 4, Dyutam Panam Striya Suna, they were not present at all. His kingdom was so pure. So that's why Kali asked for something more and something practical. So so Parikshit gave one more place to stay, that is where there is transactions involved, the money transactions, because money is the basis for everything. Money is the basis for Stri Sangam, prostitution. Money is the basis for Dyutam. So wherever there is drinks, again the basis is money. Striya Suna, where animal slaughter is also flourishing through money or gold. So Kali now got one more place to stay, and Amuni Panchasthani. So now Kali got 5 places to stay: gold, Dyutam Panam Striya Suna, Amuni Panchasthanani, He Adharma Prabhava Kaliga. So the Kali will flourish through these 5 places. So Panchasthanani, the personality of Kali by the directions of Maharaja Parikshit was allowed to stay in these 5 places. Therefore, it is mentioned that whoever wants to progress in this Kali Yuga, one should always be aware of these 4 legs of adharma, Dyutam Panam Striya Suna, and one should by all means avoid these 4 places where Kali can easily flourish. Kali can enter easily, penetrate easily through these 4 or 5 means. And so one should be very careful if at all one wants to progress in the spiritual life. Along with that, and this is not enough, along with that, one also has to take to Nama Sankirtanam and Katha Shravanam. So if we are able to follow these principles, that's why in ISKCON, 4 regulative principles are prescribed. No meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex. So because when we violate even one of these 4 principles, then Kali will enter and it will spoil everything. So these 4 regulative principles, along with chanting of the holy names of the Lord, can protect one from the harmful influence of Kali, and one can progress further in the spiritual understanding. So that's the so king therefore re-established the last legs of the dharma. So the dharma last 3 of the legs, tapa, shaucham, daya. So king under Parikshit Maharaj, Kali still did not enter fully. Kali was only hardly staying, waiting for the opportunity to enter. So Kali has got some place to live, but he had not spread his influence throughout the kingdom. So Parikshit re-established dharma, re-established the last legs of the dharma, and he encouraged the activities that will mitigate the influence of the adharma or Kali Purusha. So this chapter is ending now. So we have to enter 18th chapter. I think we'll cover this in the later classes. So if anyone wants to ask anything, we can have some discussion. Otherwise, we'll end for today. So if there is no doubt, then we can just end the session by chanting Hare Krishna mantra thrice. So I'll request everyone to unmute and chant.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you all for joining for today's session.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu.